Man, now I want to talk to you about something that almost no one ever taught us. How to slowly lose what we love the most, without even realizing it. Because let's be honest, most of us do not wake up one day saying, I'm going to destroy my marriage. No, things usually do not happen that way. Destruction almost always comes quietly, little by little, through wear and tear, through exhaustion, through ego, through pride, through distraction, through lack of presence, through small things we minimize. And here I want to speak to you clearly. Most marriages are not destroyed by one giant mistake. They slowly wear down. In conversations we stop having. In hugs we stop giving. In silence we allow to grow. In unspoken exhaustion. In accumulated frustrations. In details we stop taking care of. In small acts of disrespect. In pride. In indifference. In the habit of assuming she knows I love her. But man, there is something I have learned through scars. People need to feel loved, not assumed. Your wife needs to feel important, heard, seen, valued, respected, not perfect, valued. Because the truth is this, there are men who work hard outside, but are emotionally absent inside. They come home tired, mentally exhausted, without patience, without conversation, without emotional energy, and without realizing it, distance begins, not because of evil, because of disconnection, because of exhaustion, because of survival mode. And I want to be honest with you. Work weighs heavily, financial pressure weighs heavily, bills weigh heavily, responsibilities weigh heavily, adult life weighs heavily. But even so, we cannot emotionally abandon the people we love, because a relationship does not die only because of infidelity. Sometimes it dies from indifference, from coldness, from silence, from failing to listen, from neglecting the small things. And here I want to talk to you about something uncomfortable. Many men do not know how to talk about emotions. We were taught to endure, to hold it in, to stay silent, to keep moving, to solve problems, but not to process emotions. And when a man does not process, he explodes, he shuts down, he hardens, he disconnects, he becomes irritable, or he starts escaping, overworking, phone addiction, TV shows, alcohol, distractions, social media, external attention, or simply silence. And I want to say something strong. Not every escape looks destructive at first. Many escapes seem harmless. A conversation, an emotionally ambiguous friendship, someone who listens, validation, the feeling of being admired again. And this is where many men get confused, because feeling seen feels good, feeling desired feels good, feeling admired feels good. But listen to this carefully. Something that feels good momentarily does not always mean it is good for you long term. Because an intense emotion does not always mean truth. And many times people begin crossing emotional boundaries without even realizing it. First, you share something personal, then something intimate, then emotional time, then dependency, then secrets. And before you know it, something has already started breaking at home. Not because someone is a monster, but because many men are emotionally exhausted and do not know what to do with what they feel. That is why I want to say this with brutal honesty. If you are empty, do not make big decisions. If you are emotionally exhausted, do not make permanent decisions. If you are confused, stop, think, talk, seek help, pray, breathe. Because intense emotions are not always clarity. Sometimes they are exhaustion, sometimes wounds, sometimes loneliness, sometimes anxiety, sometimes frustration, sometimes ego. And here comes something important. Man, learn to value the woman who has walked beside you, not only when she looks beautiful, not only when she smiles, not only when everything is fine. Value her when she is tired, when she is frustrated, when she is afraid, when she also feels lost, because your wife carries things too. Anxiety, fear, exhaustion, worries, insecurities, wounds, silence. And many times she is fighting battles she never tells you about. And I want to ask you something uncomfortable. When was the last time you truly listened to your wife? Not to respond, not to correct, not to defend yourself, but to truly listen. When was the last time you asked her, how are you really? What hurts you? What worries you? How can I be a better partner? Because mature love asks uncomfortable questions. Ego does not. Ego blames. Love listens. Ego demands. Love builds. Ego wins arguments. Love protects relationships. And I want to say something I learned late. Being right does not always mean you are building something good. Sometimes you win an argument, but lose connection, lose peace, lose closeness, lose trust. And here comes something powerful. Do not be a man who only provides money. Be a man who is emotionally present. Because yes, bills matter, work matters, responsibility matters, but your emotional presence matters too. Sometimes your wife needs conversation, attention, empathy, time, emotional safety, not perfection, presence, and man, I want to speak clearly about something else. Stop chasing validation. We live in a generation obsessed with attention, likes, messages, approval, comparison, appearances, ego, and that destroys mental peace. Because when you depend on external validation, it is never enough. You always want more. More approval, more attention, more desire, more ego being fed. But hear this, an emotionally strong man does not need the entire world to admire him. He needs peace, purpose, integrity, character, and to sleep peacefully. Because true masculinity is not ego, it is not control, it is not looking invincible, it is not pretending to be tough. True strength is often this, being humble, listening, changing, apologizing, setting boundaries, mastering impulses, protecting your home. And I want to say something deeply real. Sometimes God is not destroying your life. He is trying to mature you. He is exposing wounds. He is revealing emptiness. He is teaching you things about yourself that you never wanted to face. Because growth hurts, humility hurts, admitting mistakes hurts, apologizing hurts, changing habits hurts, but continuing to destroy yourself hurts more. And if you are reading this today, I want to tell you something simple. You do not have to be perfect to start over. You just have to be honest. Honest with yourself, honest with your wife, honest with your pain, honest with your mistakes, honest with your emptiness. Because healing starts there. Not in guilt, not in shame, not in pretending. Healing begins when you say, I need to change. I need to grow. I need to learn to love better. I need to become a better man. And man, if you still have an opportunity to rebuild, do not waste it. Not everyone gets another chance. Not everyone can repair what is broken. Not everyone has time. So if you can still talk, talk. If you can still listen, listen. If you can still apologize, do it. If you can still hug, hug. If you can still rebuild trust, start today, not tomorrow. Because relationships are not destroyed overnight, but neither are they restored overnight. They are restored step by step, conversation by conversation, change by change, decision by decision, day after day. And maybe today the right question is not who is to blame. Maybe the real question is, what kind of man do I want to become starting today? Because there are still men who can rise again. There are still homes that can heal. There are still marriages that can breathe again. There is still hope, but only if we let go of pride and begin to grow.